Hello, spider friends. Um, you may be watching this thinking, wow, you look terrible. And you'd be right. I am so full of cold. I feel so poorly. Um, I've been quite ill for a couple of days now. I don't even know what day it is. Whenever ill, I just have to sleep on the settee and until I get better. Um, and I've been taking like cold and flu tablets, but we don't have any that are the non-drowsy kind. So they've got caffeine in them. So I'm like, I can't sleep now. I did sleep during the day, but I can't sleep now. So I thought, why not be productive? Like do a live stream, and I was considering doing like a Spuda live stream, but I fed like most of them earlier, and there's nothing really interesting or of note to report on any of them, so I felt like I'd just be just talking nonsense really. So I was like lying awake thinking about things, and I thought it's been a while since I've done a story time, and I'm really cold because I'm poorly. And I thought like maybe I should do maybe I should talk about something. And I was thinking about doing like another Spooktober film review, but like I think I would need a bit more energy than I currently have, which is not much, but then I can't sleep. So, love being ill. Love it. So apologies in advance for snot, coughs, sneezes. Yeah. Um I've never talked about this. Uh where do I begin? I always call this person who shall remain nameless my stalker because that's how it felt, but I'm sure I'm not using the actual technical term for it, but that's how I've always referred to her. She was a person whom I met in school. Um, she wasn't really part of my group. She was like a hanger-on. My group were like music kids. We all hung out in the music corridor. We all were in the choir and in the band, and we did like we were in the plays in school, and she wasn't. I think she was in the choir briefly, but she wasn't like. I think she was only in the choir because we were in the choir, and she had no friends. Um, and she sort of like latched onto our group. And she didn't like invite me to go places like you do when you're teenagers, and like we'd hang out sometimes, but like I don't know who kept inviting her to sleepovers, but somebody did. And we all kind of hated it because she was like an early riser, and she would wake up naturally at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, we were teenagers, who does this? So she'd wake up before everybody else, and then she would wake everybody else up, and we all hated it. And I don't know why she kept getting invited to sleepovers when she would do this every single time. But she did. Anyway, I left school, I left college, and like put her entirely to the back of my mind because I was like, yeah, like we hung out a few times, and we like I think I invited her to some birthday parties and stuff, but I didn't really think of her as one of my friends. And then, God, been out of school for maybe 4 years, 5 years, and she was in uni and she got back in touch. And I was like, oh, it's nice to hear from you and blah, 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 being polite and that. And she kept asking me for help with her uni work. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll help you, because she was studying literature, and she'd been studying Dracula, which I'm fairly like familiar with. I've read it several times. seen like every movie. I have a lot of books about Dracula. Like it's something that I have a lot of interest in, and she was covering this on a university course. So I said, yeah, sure, I'd help her out with her assignment, and I got like all my stuff out and waited for her to come round and waited and waited and waited. And then I got like a text message like 3 hours later saying that she wasn't coming round. And she would do this stuff all the time. She would ask for my help for something, which would require me to do something, like put some effort into like research or finding like books that I already own, like pulling them out, and then she would like cancel, but cancel well after the point that she was already supposed to come around. And I really can't remember how it happened, but she slowly started like worming her way back into my life. And I remember being like, I wanted to keep her separate from my other friends because she didn't really, she really wasn't like my other friend. I was like a goth at the time, and so all of my other friends were quite gothy and rocky and metally, and she just really wouldn't have fit in with that particular crowd. But I was still sort of like hanging out with her sometimes. You know, like occasionally she'd invite me to go somewhere with her, and like I'd pop along, or I'd be going to the shops and I'd say, "Hey, do you wanna come?" And she'd like come along because I felt bad because she had no friends, and I really really wish like now that I'd just like trusted my instincts and not let her back into my life, because what she started to do was sort of slowly worm away into every aspect of my life. I couldn't do anything without her, and she would throw a massive, massive hissy fit if I did. Like, I started playing Dungeons and Dragons, and she threw a massive hissy fit with me because I hadn't invited her to come play Dungeons and Dragons at someone else's house, someone who I didn't know. Like, I met some D&D players and I got like involved, and like went to their house and stuff, and she was really angry with me for not also bringing her along. Like, it wasn't my house, it wasn't my game, but she was really angry with me about it. I used to have a regular like movie night at my friend's house, which was like always on the day before his day off, because that meant we could sit up later and watch movies and stuff. And she invited herself to come along one night, and again, because I felt sorry for her, she was very manipulative. I felt sorry for her, so I'd asked, and my friend said she could come. Excuse me. And then she started coming every single week after that, and then suddenly, like, you know, she was there, involved in my group. Exactly what I did not want to happen. I played World of Warcraft. She started playing World of Warcraft and just ruined the game for me completely. She would scream at me for playing the game without her. If I was playing the game and then she logged on, she saw I was playing, she would like make me stop what I was doing and then go and play with her, even if I was like in the middle of questing, even though my character was like a level 80 and her character was a noob, like a level 20 character. I would have to stop and go help, even though me doing that would not gain her any XP. So she sort of like, I ended up stopping playing the game because it was becoming a chore to play rather than being a fun escape, which it had been for me. she invited me to go on holiday with her and her parents because, like, same age as me, except the difference is that, like, I moved out when I was 18 and she's never moved out. She's always lived with her parents. Like, I moved back in with my parents, which is a long story as to why that happened. And I now continue to live with my mother because my dad died. And I don't want my mother to live on her own. And I don't like living on my own. So if I was going to move out, I would have to move in with someone. And she did try and get me to move into a place with her several times, which I kept refusing to do. But anyway, she offered to go, like, she offered me to go on holiday with her to Italy. And I was like, wow, that's really kind of you. Yes, I'd love to go. But like I was asking about like boundaries and like, you know, will we have to hang around with your parents the whole time? Can we go off doing our own thing? And she was like, oh yeah. And then like 3 or 4 months before we were going to go, she told me that the holiday was cancelled and that we weren't going to Italy anymore. We were going to Skegness, which I don't know if you know, but Skegness is not particularly the Italy of England. Just saying. I still went on the holiday and it was weird and awkward and uncomfortable. Like, we were sharing a room. This girl I always thought was gay. Well, I think she is gay. When we were in school, oh, my live stream's frozen. Oh no, is it going to unfreeze? I do not see the spinning thing of death. I'm just going to keep talking nonsense until the picture unfreezes. It's very attractive picture of me with me gob open. Hello, are you still there? Gobbo, gobbo me. Oh God, let's see. Duh. No. Flip. Come on. No. Is that gonna... No. Oh, flippity floop. Do you know what? I'm just gonna keep talking. And you could enjoy this terrible frozen picture of me. So, I always thought this girl was gay. When we were in school, this is a long time ago, when we were in school, Big Brother had just started and the internet was new for us. And there was like a thing where you entered your name and all your friends' names and it would auto-generate like a dramatic Big Brother storyline. So I did it and like I threw all my friends' names into it and then emailed it to everyone. And then she rang me, hysterical, crying, because in this auto-generated thing it said that she was gay, and she was not happy at all. She was saying, well, why are you telling everyone I'm gay? Why are you telling everyone I'm gay? I'm like, I didn't tell everyone you're gay. It was a stupid thing. It said that, like, our other friend tried to murder our other friend. You're the only one freaking out about it. And so, like, I kind of always felt that she was in love with me in some way. And, like, sharing a room with her in this, like, caravan in Skegness was really uncomfortable because she kept, like, asking about my bra, and it was weird and it was uncomfortable and I didn't like it. I was really uncomfortable with it. And she would often like try to get me to go into Ann Summers with her, and she wanted to like model underwear for me, and I was like, I don't want to do this. This is making me really uncomfortable. And like I have like many stories of the weird stuff that she would do that would make me really uncomfortable. But I'm not going to go through every single one because I'm too ill and I can't be bothered. Um, but this girl is the reason why I have major trust issues. Because if I would tell her something, like private, she would use it against me. She would tell everyone, or she would embarrass me with it, or like she would just use it against me. And this is the reason I can't trust people now, to this day. Not even my best friend, I won't open up to people and tell them things because I'm far too afraid that it's going to be used against me. And that someone's going to use it against me like she did. So I'm not gonna, I can't do it now. I can't open up to people now. And that still affects me now to this day. I'm very closed off. I have very high walls. I rarely share things with people, even people who I've been friends with for like 20 years. I won't share things with them because she totally ruined trust for me in people. I can't trust anyone now because of her. So she was like, you know, she inserted herself into all aspects of my life. She was very controlling, very manipulative. She would say to me, I'm coming round to your house tomorrow at 12. Make me some food. So I would make some food and I would be waiting for her and waiting for her and waiting for her. And then it would get to like 3 o'clock and she'd be like, I'm not coming to your house now, I'm working. And she would do this all the time. And then my dad would go mental at me for wasting food. So she'd inserted herself into like every aspect of my life. I couldn't get away from her. She was just there all the time. And I was just putting up with it because I don't know why. I don't know why I was putting up with it. But the straw that broke the camel's back was we'd gone shopping with another friend, and I got a phone call from one of my friends who works abroad, who I don't get to see very often. She only comes home like twice a year. And she was home for the summer and she'd phoned me to make some plans. So I was on the phone with her making plans, and then when I hung up the phone, she grabbed hold of the back of my hair. She grabbed hold of like a handful of the back of my hair and yanked it, and like my head went back. And I was so shocked. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do because she'd pulled my hair, and I was like, how the would why would you do that? And it was like, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. And it was the thing that sort of finally made me go, oh, I can't do this anymore. So after that, I really hope that you didn't just hear on the live stream my mum coming down the stairs and farting really loudly. But if you did, I apologise. So I stopped replying to text messages. I stopped accepting her phone calls. And she turned up at my house. She called my mother. She turned up. She sat outside my nana's house for an hour in her car. And then, like, none of my family felt like they could leave my nana's house until she left. She phoned my nana's house. She phoned my cousin. She phoned my best friend. All trying to get them to, like, talk to me, to talk to her. Like, she was sending gifts through people, and I was just like, I cannot live with this anymore. It's gone too far. I can't deal with it. Like, she's got issues and she needs to work on them, and I can't be a part of her life anymore. And like, she got a job at my doctor's, so I had to change doctor's surgery because she had access to my medical records and I didn't want her having access to my medical records. So I literally had to change doctors because of her. She was obsessed, really, really obsessed with me. And the fact that I know I can't block her on YouTube actually upsets me, because it's like she's sort of like blocked from all of my social media, but I know that she could be watching me on here, and that upsets me because I don't want her to be in my life at all, in any way, shape or form. Like, even after like I'd cut her out of my life, she was like trying to go around my cousin's house and like calling him and like trying to make plans with him, and I was like, I'm really sorry, but I need you to not do it. I need you to not let her back, because she's crazy and she's obsessed with me. And it's been, God, a good 6 years now, and I still worry about it. I still worry about her turning up. I don't know how unstable she is. I don't know if she's gotten over me or what, but it's like when I call her my stalker, that's just the word I use for it. I don't know if it's the proper technical term, but that's how I feel. This girl really, really messed up my life. She was always calling me names. She was always calling me like freak and weirdo and oddball. She was always making comments about how I looked and what I was wearing and the kind of like things that I bought, and she didn't want me to be me. Like, I have a lot of geeky stuff, and she was always like, you should sell that, you should sell that, you should sell that. Like, anything that I was interested in, then she had to get into even more. Like, I really liked the Monster High dolls, so then she went out and she got like the entire set of Monster High dolls, and she would keep them in her car just to rub it in my face that I couldn't buy them all because I couldn't afford them. Like, I'm really glad she's out of my life now. And the thing is, though, she still does hang around with some of my other friends, and that upsets me. Because it's like they don't seem to realise, like, how much she really did ruin my life. So yeah, that was my story time. And I'm gonna sign off now. Thank you for watching, even though for me it's just been this terrible screenshot of me with my mouth open. It might have unfrozen, I don't know. It might not have recorded the latter half of that, and I might have just been talking to myself. Who knows? But thanks for watching anyway.